In a political landscape where women are often subjected to heightened scrutiny and at times blatant intimidation, she has shattered the stereotypes that suggest that women can be easily cowed. Honorable Minister Betty Amoi's career has been marked by the most intense public scrutiny, yet she has consistently emerged as a victorious force to be reckoned with. But who exactly is Honorable Minister Betty Amoi, and from where does she draw her strength? Hello, and thank you for joining us on this week's episode of Triumph. My name is Okello Sharon Nagenjwa.
Brought to you by Stanbic Bank Uganda.
Honorable Minister Betty Amoi is a woman whose triumphant spirit has become legendary in Uganda's economic, social and political landscape. Her unwavering determination and unshakable resolve have earned her the reputation of a formidable fighter who never backs down until the job is done. This week, Triumph brings you her story. Hello, Honorable Minister.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
And thank you for having us in your beautiful office.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yes. Straight to it. Who is Honorable Minister Betty Amoi?
Wow. Difficult question. Simple. I'm a person born to teachers in the northern part of this country, Lango sub-region, who emerged from poverty, studied through in a primary school, secondary school, in a Catholic-based value system, because my parents were so much religious that they hoped and wanted to conscript me to be a nun.
You were supposed to be a nun?
Yes.
Okay.
I was supposed to be a nun. So I was donated to the convent. So right from my O-level, I studied in a girls' school, and I would have my holidays in the convent, that is Ucheme Girls. And A-level, I passed and went to Secretariat Girls' School, again a Catholic school. And I was supposed to also, after A-level, proceed to join the nun and still add my holidays in the convent to be groomed to be a nun. So my education journey is very interesting. I sat my primary living examination in my village school, Minakulu Primary School. Then I went to O-level in Ucheme Girls, still in Oyam district, and I passed so well. I went to Secretariat Girls School, where I was given partial scholarship, and that's where I was supposed to branch from at A-level to go to be a nun. The congregation I was joining was based in Nairobi, so they would only accept the highest level of education of A-level. But because I passed so well, I was admitted in Makerere University on government sponsorship.
Wow.
And so my father was torn in between sacrificing me to go for the religious work or me pursuing the education. Being an ed teacher, he said for him education comes as a priority. We started the understanding how the university life is. They integrated me, so I'm very appreciative to really my roommates who did not undermine the fact that I was poor and I didn't have things. They took me through. I got integrated into Mary Steward, joined the clubs, even stood and become a member of the GRC. That is like a member of parliament for Mary Steward to the guild.
So that was the beginning of your political
That
career.
was the beginning of my politics. And started, and when we were all admitted on government sponsorship, we were being given money for food and stationery and other things. Then in the middle, when we were in second year, they said we are removing the money. So we decided to demonstrate. And I was among one woman or few women who demonstrated, and in the circumstance of demonstration, police and all that, I was stoned. My head was stoned. Up to now I have a scar on my head because of that demonstration.
Oh, it's the one right here?
Not the one in the front, but there's one outside. This one I got it when I was very young. So that is my university life. Went into demonstration, and then later I joined the youth politics, and I became the campaign manager for Honorable Kwiru Abwoni who and Honorable Tipero Nusura, because they wanted to contest in 1996 to be the member of parliament for youth after the Constituent Assembly. So you had to go and recruit from the university. And so I was in 96, I was in my first year going to second year, because I joined in 95. So Kwiru Abwoni then got me from the university to go and campaign for him among the delegates from northern Uganda. And I did campaign for him, and when he went through, he realized that I had done a good work for him. So he got me, introduced me to a Pan-African movement where his brother, the late Mayombo was, Otafire, Dr. Abdul Rahim, and so I started volunteering at the Pan-African movement and coordinating their work in the university, the debates on Pan-Africanism and so on. So when I graduated in 1999, I was then accepted to be the deputy of the women's desk.
The public knows you to be a woman of strength. Women out there admire the minister, Honorable Betty, but they do not know where this strength comes from. Where do you get all that strength from?
I think the strength is more about the value system that you hold so dear to you. That will always shape your action. So for me, the first value I hold dear is that I am a person who walked my way from poverty. And what made me successful is my determination. First, to say academic and education is the most single important tool that my parents instilled in me, that I must study hard, I must be determined and study up to the highest level that they could pay me. And being teachers who were poor, I would go to school with half a bar of soap, with the half school fees, and every time it would be very difficult to even conclude my education. So in all this, I realized that determination and focus is the single most important value in life. Secondly, I believed in God, that being a godly person and my parents being godly, that it is important to always do soul searching, that who am I? What am I here for? If you can answer that question of what am I here for, then you're going to define your path. And for me, every time I sit in this office and I am supposed to make a decision, the decision is, should I make a decision for the majority of Ugandans who are poor, like where I was, or should I make a decision that will benefit the few who might not actually earn or be in need of what I need to do as a minister? So if you answer the question of why am I here? What is it that I must do? That question is a very powerful question for any leader. It will define you and define the target group, the issues that you hold dear. That's why in most circumstances, when faced with decision making, I first have to think about those poor people. What should I do for them? What I'm going to do, is it going to support the majority of the poor Ugandans or not? So in that circumstance, it gives you all the opportunity to always make the right decision, because you will make a decision that resonates with the majority of the people.
Okay. In your leadership journey, what is the biggest challenge you think you have overcome?
The challenge of having to make a decision. And for any person in any position of leadership, the biggest challenge is not the outcome.
Yes.
The biggest challenge is making the decision. What must you consider when you're making that big decision? So I always do not think through what is coming out, but I think through that a decision has to be made.
Does it ever, when the outcome and the scrutiny comes and people misunderstanding you at times, when that happens, what do you feel in there?
One, I know, and in myself, I have the value system that when you are on the right, do not care about what people say. Because the right will always be right. Even when people twist it, even when people try to look for avenues of turning it and blackmailing you, at the end of it, the truth will remain the truth. So, for me, the biggest asset that I always tell myself is the decision I'm making, number one, based on evidence? Is it based on facts? Is it based on clear judgment? Has it followed the processes? Because I know if I do all those, even if you go to court, even if you blackmail me, even if you want to do what, everybody will investigate. And at the end of it, you will find nothing. That's why people were so mesmerized when Bamugemerere was investigating me. And I'm walking with a smile. So they didn't understand, why is she walking and smiling and not bothered?
Yes.
Why? Because first, I knew what was before her was not true. Secondly, I knew I had my evidence. Three, I knew by the time I made the decision that she was trying to investigate, I had followed all the procedure, I had my evidence. So the challenge for me, the biggest challenge in the leadership, and that has been my biggest issue, is when people want to blackmail you. First of all, as a leader, political leader, you must know that you are seated where everybody else wants to be.
Yes. But Honorable Minister, let's honestly speaking, a little secret. When you go online and you're reading different negative comments, abuses geared towards you, that you just go home and just curl a bit and feel so bad. Because out here, you come out shining like a star, smiling, and yet ideally a normal person, especially the assumption that women are the weaker sex, they will normally cry and feel down and depressed. You never show that. So is that something that you do?
It's because I have to understand the game. If you want to be in this game, you must understand the game. So to understand the game means that you are going to know, even before people write, that once I take this decision, you build all scenarios.
Danger.
Yes. So for me, every decision I make which is big, I build scenarios and assumptions. And that should be what everybody does in any office. Before you take a decision, you must first of all make assumption. Whose interest am I stepping on?
Yes.
Whose position am I going to remove? Who are the people who benefit from this person or this issue that I am going to tackle?
Yes.
Once you understand that, then you build scenario. Number one, what would happen if I do this?
Yes.
Then by the time you're going into Twitter, into social media, and people are abusing you, you have already built scenarios. And sometimes I build scenarios which are so outrageous, and then the ones that are in social media are not that bad. Then
They're not as bad as your expectations.
Not as I expected. So, like I said, it comes with the understanding of politics.
Honorable Betty's ability to turn adversity into an opportunity for growth and transformation is a testament to her extraordinary character, rather than allowing public scrutiny to break her spirit. Betty Amongi has used it as a catalyst for positive change. She has become a role model for aspiring female politicians, showing them that they can rise above the challenges and succeed on their own terms. Triumph returns with more of her story right after this break. Welcome back from that short break. We are still with the Honorable Minister, Betty Amongi, whose ability to remain calm in the midst of the storm is admirable. Honorable Minister, going back to your strength, in this career journey, what would you attribute as a measure to this success?
Oh, I think I would attribute the measure of success to clear sense of judgment, because in every situation that you are faced with, you must make judgment, make a decision, solve a problem. That is the pattern.
You're a woman, you're a wife, you're a mother. How do you juggle this?
I first of all have to make sure that I prioritize and understand that life in itself is not successful with only one component. That happiness comes with solving and having all the holistic human existence considered, understood, and handled. So as a mother, and also to understand that you are not an island. So you are also defined by society and the values of society. So once I understood that the social value of society is that you must be a mother, a wife, and a person who gives example to others. So I had to make sure that first myself having children, getting married, and holding on to that means I must work on that constantly. I must constantly make sure that I raise children who are exemplary.
You're also known as a very vigorous businesswoman. And right now you're advocating for women to be in business. For a politician to be at the same time a businesswoman and yet juggling her social life and family life, how does the businesswoman Betty fall in?
First, we must understand what defines life. If anybody tells you that they enjoy being poor, they are lying. Everybody wants to have money. Now, for you to have money, you must work for that money. And in politics, money defines democracy. So once you understand that choices are defined by money, the choice of what you eat, what house you will have, where the children will go to school or not, they are all defined by money. Then you will have to make sure that you make that money. So for me, I think also growing in poverty taught me that I don't want to go back to poverty, and I don't want the generation I've produced to go back to where I was. So I try my best to have businesses. As a person, I'm an importer. I do bonds with my money. I do lots of things that give me money. So sometimes when people look at me out there, then they are wondering, where does this woman have money? And they think, they presume that the office you hold is where you're getting the money. I do a lot of consultancy with the certain universities in the US, in Norway and others. So I make my money all around. And so in that making money, I realize that a woman has more probability of being happy when they have their money. Because most times husbands, when you go to ask them for each and everything, then they will start running away to look for other women.
Are you a happy woman?
I'm a very happy woman. I'm happy because if I want today to get up and leave politics, I will leave politics knowing that I have enough money that will sustain me and business.
For a woman out there who aspires to be you, and also that other woman there who right now is probably facing lots of scrutiny, maybe from in-laws or friends, or people are saying that and this about her, and generally being intimidated and facing lots of blackmail, what is your message to her?
My message to the women who might be having issues and you feel that you're being cornered, you're being challenged, first of all, remain calm. Remain calm, because if you are not calm and you allow your emotions to shroud you, you're not going to get the best solution to your problem. Remain calm. 2, try to analyze the people who are saying what they're saying about you. Why are they doing that? What is their interest? Sometimes they might have an issue that they want to push you away for their own interest. Every little thing that a person does, there is a vested interest. So I always tell women, the time that you have the most challenge is the time that you must be more active. Is the time that you must be more impressive to yourself.
Well, it is not too late. In a world where politics can be brutal and unforgiving, Honorable Betty Amongi's triumphant spirit shines as a beacon of hope and inspiration. Her legacy serves as a sharp reminder that women can be powerful, unyielding forces in the political arena, capable of affecting real change and leaving an indelible mark on society. Catch us again next week, same time. My name is Okelo Sharon Nagenjoa. Until then, goodbye.
Brought to you by Stambik Bank Uganda.